Imagine you're a gladiator standing alone in the center of an arena. The only thing you're certain of at this exact moment in time is that no matter what's about to enter the Colosseum through that trap door, only one of you will still be breathing 30 minutes from now. Now, what could possibly cause that much emotional instability to a 58-year-old man? It was the realization that from that moment forward, no matter what I did at the gym, I would never have the ability to add more muscle to my body. It wasn't going to happen. I had crossed onto the downward slope of aging. It's like life slid me onto this different playing field when I wasn't looking. And the objective of this new game was to keep the muscle I currently have for as long as possible. Because the rule clearly states you're not getting any more. Like, ever. Because my workouts had stopped building, my strength had stopped buying me. It's not that I did anything wrong, it's just circle of life shit. I realized I have to play this game smarter. Because playing it harder isn't going to get me anything but a permanent seat on the bench. So if you're 50-year-old, let's get to the bottom of this. Let's discuss why it happens, what we can do about it, and why it's critical to hold that line for as long as you possibly can. Because the harsh truth is your muscles have already started leaving. First off, this isn't new. Okay, let me rephrase that. It's new to your brain, but it's not new to your body. Because it's been stalking us like prey for decades. Men start losing testosterone around age 30 to the tune of 1% a year, and that's on average. And after 50, we start losing muscle even if we train regularly. How scary is that? And we don't just lose size, we also lose strength. In fact, grip strength drops 3 to 11% per decade. As a side note, the credit for all of this goes to Dr. Peter Attia. If you line up a large enough group of elderly people in order of grip strength, those in the lower 25% are twice as likely to die as those in the upper 25%. And if that doesn't suck bad enough, we also get fatter more easily. We lose lean mass, or muscle as most people call it. And that loss accelerates with age. 1% from your 30s to your 50s, jumping to 4% in your 60s, and a whopping 7% in your 70s. Those are compounded losses, meaning hypothetically at age 70, you'd lose 7%. At 71, you lose another 7%. 72, another 7%. You get the picture. Now do you see why I was freaking out about this? Tia goes on to say, if you don't build strength before the age of 60, you won't have it after. And in layman's terms, that means if you don't save for muscle retirement before you're 60, you're going to end up muscle poor. And that's going to quickly make you muscle homeless. I know someone out there is going to say, my Uncle Joe never worked out until he was 60 and then he gained muscle, so you're lying, that's a bunch of bullshit. Okay, fair enough, technically can happen, but not to those of us who have been relatively diligent about exercising throughout our lives. And the only thing I can say about Uncle Joe is if he spent his entire life looking like an emaciated pussy, then yeah, he deserves a muscle or two. Moving on. I know what you're thinking. At least it can't get any worse. The hell it can't. Neuromuscular decline kicks in, nerve efficiency drops, coordination gets worse, mitochondria fade out. We're talking sarcopenia here. And for those of us 55 and older, we're already in the fight. We just didn't get the memo. So why muscle matters after 55? I can totally understand you thinking, okay, so what? Everybody's forced to deal with this at some point in time. What's the big deal? Oh, I don't know, maybe quality of life, self-confidence, the ability to cross the street without a swarm of Boy Scouts groping you, trying to earn the coveted kept a borderline invalid from dying today patch. It's not about looking jacked. It's about not falling apart. So let's discuss a few reasons why we should take this seriously. Because muscle protects bone, and that lessens the probability it's gonna break. The stronger the muscle, the more force it places on the bone, and that stress signals your body to reinforce the structure, making bones thicker, denser, and harder to break. Then there's metabolic insurance, which is a higher basal burn rate. See, muscle tissue burns more calories at rest than fat. The more lean mass you have, the higher your base metabolic rate. That means even when you're sitting still, on the couch, at your desk asleep, you're torching more calories than someone with less muscle. It's like your metabolism got a turbo upgrade, and that doesn't go away even when the workout ends. Muscle acts as a barrier between you and body fat. When your body needs energy, it's more likely to pull from fat stores if you've got a solid lean mass working in your favor. And more muscle also means your body's more insulin sensitive, which helps manage blood sugar and reduce fat storage. The translation of all that, muscle makes it harder to gain fat and easier to lose it. Mobility, be it stairs, tubs, grandkids, strength makes it all easier. Strength equals independence. Getting out of bed or off the floor, climbing stairs, getting in and out of a car, stepping over the edge of a tub. None of that's hard when your muscles are doing their job. And you don't have to be a power lifter to notice the difference. It's the small daily things that stay easy when you have more muscle. Fall prevention, coordination, and reflexes. Muscle isn't just about power, it's about control. Stronger legs, better balance, quicker reflexes. You're less likely to trip and more likely to recover if you do. Falls aren't just inconvenient when you're older, they're dangerous. Strength training literally keeps you on your feet. Posture and confidence. You walk differently when you're strong. Stronger people carry themselves differently, not because they're showing off, but because their posture changes. More straight pulls your shoulders back, opens up your chest, and makes you look more confident, even before you say a word. And that physical confidence bleeds into how you speak, how you move, and how people respond to you. The bottom line is you don't need muscle to impress people, you need it to function. That is, unless you view being able to wipe your own ass as one of those, sure, to be nice, but it's not a necessity kind of situations. The repair problem. Why you can't make up for lost time. At 25, you overtrain, you bounce back. At 58, you don't bounce, you break. And satellite cells are your body's muscle repair crew. They help rebuild and grow muscle after workout. But as you age, they become about as reliable as a deadbeat dad on visitation weekend. Next is slower protein synthesis. And this is how your body turns food, specifically protein, into muscle. And as we age, the system gets sluggish. You're eating the same stuff, doing the same work, but you're not seeing the same result. It's like your muscle building system's run by a bunch of teenagers with a couch, a smartphone, and an internet connection. The next is more oxidative stress. Over time, your body builds up internal wear and tear, and that leads to inflammation. And that means more soreness, slower recovery, and a higher risk of injury. Not only do you feel old, you swear your joints are being held together with duct tape and chewing gum. And then we have lower testosterone, GH, and IGF-1. And these are your rebuild and recover hormones. As they drop, everything gets harder. Building muscle, staying lean, having energy, even your sex drive. Let me explain it like this. Remember when your cousin Pete got that government job, maybe 3 years ago? Well, your body and Pete now have the exact same work ethic. And then we have anabolic resistance. Your body used to respond quickly to protein and training. Remember when you could eat, lift, and grow? Not anymore. That signal progressively got weaker with age. Well, you could still do all those things, but the results? They're at some all-inclusive Mexican resort hammered on margaritas by 8 a.m. Their cell phone permanently set to do not disturb. Bottom line is, if you push too hard, you either backslide or you get injured. But if you don't push hard enough, you lose your edge. And it's at that specific moment where you say nothing works anymore. And for the most part, you're right. But what you should have said is nothing natural works anymore. Now, I have to admit being old does have some perks, like not giving a shit about what anybody thinks. Hell, I'd stand in the middle of a crowded mall and yell, "My body's falling apart, who's got a cheat code?" And don't even talk to me if it's not endorsed by AARP. Because why would you let life take you out like a punk if there's a way to prevent it? HRT is your secret weapon. Hormone replacement therapy, or HRT for short, that's the cheat code. Why would you need a cheat code? Because if your hormone levels are in the tank, no matter how hard you try, it's impossible for you to win. It's like you're bringing a stick to a gunfight. No, I take that back. It's worse than that. It's more along the lines of you showing up to a gunfight with a super soaker filled with Ensure, but with smart therapy, meaning testosterone, maybe some progesterone for the ladies, peptides, substances to raise your GH level. You can maintain what everyone around you is losing, because it doesn't matter if you're a man or woman. Testosterone helps. It helps increase lean muscle mass, reduce fat, improve strength, sharpen focus, boost recovery, vastly improve sexual function. You get better hair, skin, nails, the list goes on. This is doing what needs to be done in order to maintain your dignity, self-respect, and independence. Because I can also promise you, your wife isn't the least bit impressed with your disappearing jawline, your gut that enters the room 3 seconds before you do, or that thing resembling a gummy worm that hides behind your zipper. And when your wife says, "Don't worry, honey, it's no big deal," she's referring to your underperforming not the situation itself. This is important. It's biological defense, but it has to be done correctly. Mark dosing, lab monitoring, expert oversight. And that's exactly what you'll find at my clinic, Viking Alternative Medicine. We help both men and women get their lives back. And we do it in 48 of the 50 US states. Because getting old is inevitable, but feeling old and looking old, especially when I'm handing you the cheat codes on a silver platter.
Well, that's just fucking stupid.